Here's a question though that when you said it, I know I've had pushback on it, and I bet you have too. You kind of said you have to be selfish. You have to think about yourself
Yeah.
first. How
Yeah.
much pushback do you get on that, and how do you handle that?
Well, I mean, um, it's it's a little bit cliched, but we've heard it so many times. Like, when you're on the airplane, put your own, you know,
Oxygen mask on first. Yeah.
oxygen mask on first. Because if you don't do that, you're going to pass out before you can help anybody else. And I think that that's the same kind of situation that we can see when people are giving too much, right? Like, there's only so much energy that we have in our lives. And if we're spending a lot of our energy, worrying about other people, that means that our tank of energy is being depleted. And if we're not doing something that is, quote unquote, selfish, if we're not caring for ourselves, we're not filling that tank back up. And so we're not able to continue. It's not sustainable, right? You cannot run on empty. You need to, I use this analogy a lot with people, that it's sort of like having a car that, you drive around at 90 miles an hour all the time, and you never take it in to get it washed. You never take it in to get the oil changed. You never take it in. You never, you
Yeah.
try to drive and do all this stuff without putting gas in it. Like that, your car is not going to last very long if you do that. And that
Exactly.
that is analogous to how we care for ourselves as well. We are all human. We need the basics of, staying alive. You need to, get enough sleep, to hydrate, to eat well, to relax, to have fun, to live a full human existence. And if you can do that, and then you're going to be able to show up at work with more joy and more energy as well.
Tell us real quick, when you look at showing up with more joy and more energy, I know that relates to what I think is joyful. Well, I have more energy. Do you do? I haven't read your book. I'll be honest. I tried to get it,
Mm-hmm.
but didn't get it fast enough. But I wonder, in your book, do you try to say, okay, point to this direction uh, on the
To
job
find
site?
joy, to
Yes.
find joy, is that? Yeah, I actually do talk about how to discover your joy. And with many people who are successful in business, and I mean, that's most of the people that I work with, they've learned to delay gratification. They've learned to focus in on what other people expect of them. And often they lose touch with their own inner wisdom. And it's still there. Like, what happens is that, we can get like very rational, and we can just, depend on just our brain for like, oh, what, our brain is the only area of wisdom. And that's not true. Our emotions, our body, our intuition, all of these areas are areas of wisdom as well. And
Yes.
it's when we can tune into those as well as tune into our rational brain, we become wiser, we know more. And one of the things that I talk about in the book is like, start paying attention to, if you're doing something and you get butterflies in your stomach, if you get that little fluttery, excited feeling when, you're going to do something,
Hmm.
these are things that you like, that you get
Yes.
joy from. But sometimes our brains might judge that, and it might shut it down. And I think it's important to, pay attention to those, those other areas of wisdom, and start being more conscious, and maybe choosing those and allowing yourself to have those experiences, rather than, our brain can be a very difficult taskmaster, because it can say like, I want to keep you safe, and it doesn't matter if you have fun or not. Like, if you don't do this, you're going to lose your job, which
Right.
often
Right.
is not true at all. But we want to stay safe, so we stay in a very narrow area, rather than like moving out into the gray area a little bit and saying, well, maybe I can, you know leave work a little bit earlier, or maybe I can delegate some of this other stuff so I can focus on things that I enjoy doing more at work, or whatever. And I,
Yes.
I just say to people, like, test it, start to like take a baby step outside of what you've considered to be the like comfort zone or safe area, and see what happens. The more you do that, the more you expand your comfort zone.
Well, and comfort zone for most people is not being criticized by somebody else. So I don't want to be criticized.
Yeah.